Hi everyone. Today we have Ms. Parul Deval with us. Parul is an art-based therapist. So today she is going to talk about art-based therapy. Thank you so much, Parul, for being with us today. We are looking forward to know more about art-based therapy from you.
Hi, hi.
So Parul, could you tell us something about art-based therapy to begin with?
Um, so, Archana, art-based therapy is a very scientific approach
Hmm.
in which you decide a particular goal and you work towards a particular goal, and the medium which you use to reach that goal is a different form of art. So,
Okay.
there could be a dance, there could be a drawing, there
Oh,
could be a rhythm like drumming,
okay.
there could be something like body movements. There are so many things involved in it.
Okay.
So it's just not a painting, it's just not a drawing. It's a mixture of all these things, and we try to reach that goal with the help of
Okay.
all these things.
Okay.
So if we try to understand art-based therapy, is as simple as if you remember in ancient time, long ago, when there was no language, people don't know how to communicate with each other. They used to draw on a wall.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a very if you see at the history, art is a very big way in which we tried medium of communication with each other,
Right.
and it's very unconscious. Like, you don't feel too much threatened if I ask you to draw something, but
Huh.
if I ask you to talk about something, if I, as simple as if I ask you to draw your family,
Hmm.
it's much easier, and it's a fun way of doing it.
Yeah.
But if I sit and ask you, like, Arjuna, tell me about your family,
Yeah.
it can be sometimes overwhelming and
Yeah.
threatening. So
Yeah.
it's a very natural process, I
Yes,
feel.
it goes with the flow.
Yeah, and the best part is it's for everyone from age one, once you start scribbling, to
Right.
age 9900, because everyone is born with it. You don't require special skill to do
Right. Right.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting, Parul. Also, Parul, could you tell us about your experience as an art-based therapist?
Um, so if I just try to tell you, I completed my BA. I did a industrial psychology, but
Okay.
while working and doing my internship, I felt like, no, I'm better in counseling, because I used to work in a L&T, and we used to deal with a lot of employee counseling. So I
Okay.
realized that I like that part more. So I
Hmm.
went and completed my diploma from XICP, that is Xavier's Institute of Counseling Psychology,
Okay.
and I started working in an orphanage which is in Chamber.
All right.
While I was working with them, I could find out there is a limitation of a talk therapy.
Okay.
You can't go beyond after a point. When the child sits in front of you,
Right.
child gets bored after a point. Like,
Yeah.
you're asking me same things again and again.
Correct.
So
Correct.
I found that it's like a limitation for me at that point. And
Huh.
I always used to like a drama, dance since college, since childhood. So this is something which I came across, WCCL, that is World Center of Creative Learning, which is in Pune. They were running their own course, and I enrolled for it. And I think so the best journey, the best 1 year which I experienced, because it was just not. They don't equip us only about the art form; they also equipped us about the mind training, that
Okay.
how therapists should be with regards to its own philosophy and its own thinking.
Right.
Because
Right.
unless and until you're very clear and you're very you work on yourself, you can't go and help others.
Right.
So that's the best part about it. So it was very nice.
Okay.
From there, I started working with the orphanage again. I
Mm-hmm.
started working with the one of the center in Santa Cruz, and
Okay.
also cancer survivor patients in Lalba. So
Okay.
three areas where I work right now.
Okay.
And in all these three areas, I can find the ABT has such a different and such a innovative implication.
Okay.
So we do this exercise with cancer survivors, that when they come to us, after some sessions, we ask them to do a body mapping, then
Okay.
which you draw the outline of your body like 6 feet long paper,
Uh-huh.
and then you do a relaxation of each part, and you just sit and you just draw whatever you want on your body.
Okay.
And because you dealt with the cancer, there is so much of guilt, there is so much of hatred. There's
Hating.
so many emotions which is linked to your body
Hmm.
that sometimes when they sit and the whole process is very therapeutic for them.
Right.
So when I work with orphanage, I realize that they love to be with each other. They love to create something together. Because it because in right now in this lockdown phase, we all know that it's difficult to stay with the same person 24/7. So imagine like a 5-year old, 2-year old, 3-year old, all of them are staying 24/7, like 15, 20 kids together. So they fight with each other, but at the end, when we started doing the ABT, they realized that they can also create some magic with the help of each other. That
Right.
was the best part. They started group building, they started understanding each other. There was a group dynamics, and we could also we could reflect it on their daily behavior, that they understood each other much better ways
So
rather than just fighting and arguing and hating each other. So that was the best thing which I felt with them.
it's one of the best
Uh,
of communication, I feel, rather than just sitting and talking to your client. This is a whole
yeah.
different way in which you can communicate with them.
Yeah. So for example, if I'm sitting in the orphanage and I just have a box of a crayon of 25 crayons, and if I have a 12 kids in the same group, they have to share and they learn to share without me telling them that you have to share each and everything. They understand that they learn this dynamic without preaching, which is the most important thing. So they
Hmm.
understand this 25, if we all need to create something, if we all want to have some fun, then we need to share with each other, and then only we will have so much fun together. So that was the best part, that it happens very unconsciously. You don't have to actually sit and tell them, because I think so, which I found very funny with regards to kids. Like on the face of kids, you can see they tell you like, "दीदी अभी bore हो गया, क्या वापस वो ही वो." They can tell you on your face. So
Okay.
you have to be always, yeah, innovative with them. You have to always do something new with them. So I found ABT is great in that way, in which there are no boundaries, there is no right and wrong.
Right.
So that's the best part which I felt about
Also,
ABT.
Parul, if you could share with us what were some of the challenges that you faced while you were practicing art-based therapy?
Uh, Challenges is first, there is a notion in which people feel that when you draw something, art-based therapy is going to analyze it, which we
Hmm.
don't. We
Okay.
don't do analyze in such a way कि hand ऐसे draw किया है, nose ऐसे draw किया है. We don't do that. In
Okay.
whatever philosophy which we believe, that we don't sit and analyze each and every picture as
Okay.
it is. So that is the one of the biggest thing, because adults, I can feel a lot of inhibitions which adults feel when they start drawing, because they feel like I'm
Somebody.
going to analyze them,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to judge them, that which color they are using, which what figure they are drawing. So it's not about that. It's about the creation. It's
Right.
about the how liberated you will feel at the end of the whole creation point of view.
Right.
So that is one of the challenge. Second challenge is you have to be fluid when you are working as an art-based therapist. You can't get stuck and you can't decide that I'm going to do this form. I'm going because I'm good in drumming. I can't enforce on other client that he has to also like drumming and he has to do drumming.
Right.
I
Right.
have to understand that he's the one who hates music, who is not good with music. So I
Hmm.
have to be flexible enough to understand what the client wants at the end of the day. The third thing which I feel is, many times people feel it's only for kids, which is not.
Not
It's
the
for
case.
everyone.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people who are working with Parkinson's disorder.
Ah,
There are a lot of people who are working with old age groups. So it's for everyone. It's
no,
not limited to a
not just
certain
for.
population.
Okay.
But the best thing is kids are very adaptable. They are very accepting,
Hmm.
and adults are many times skeptical. That's the only reason that kids find it more easier to accept
Right.
art-based therapy. That's
Right.
it.
Right. Parul, could you tell us about your overall experience as a counselor or your experience in counseling?
So though I am an art-based practitioner, I don't use only ABT. I
Right.
use all different eclectic approach kind of a thing, in which I use REBT, I use behavioral therapy, I use ABT.
Right.
So how I decide it is depend on the what type of client is sitting in front of me.
Right.
There are some kids, there are some parents, there are some adults who are intellectual. They like this question answer kind of a thing. They like
Right.
discussion. They like talk
Right.
about the philosophy. But
Yeah.
there are someone who finds it boring to talk and
Hmm.
who likes to experience things. So with them, we use a lot of art forms,
Okay.
different body movements. So I can't be rigid saying that you have to use ABT because I'm an ABT practitioner, which I don't do. I
Right.
try to understand what my client wants and
Right.
decide
Right.
it accordingly.
Right.
With counseling, I think so a lot of awareness is happening, so which is the good thing.
Right.
A lot
Right.
of people are approaching counseling.
Approaching. Yeah. Also, could you tell us the importance of meeting a counselor for, as in, importance of meeting a counselor for a common man? Many a times we have
Uh,
this mindset that no, meeting a counselor is considered to be a taboo, or there is a stigma that is associated with meeting a counselor or meeting a mental health practitioner. So, how would you guide
right,
the
right.
people around it?
I think so. I've heard somewhere recently someone's interview. I don't remember whose interview, but they said that the meeting a counselor or mental health practitioner should be as easy as going for a Zumba class, having a yoga teacher. Because yeah, this is the something which you feel like I need it for my body. Like
Right,
I
right.
need my body functional training, Zumba. For my mind, I need to meet a counselor. So what's a big deal of
What's the
that?
big deal? Yeah,
So we need to give a equal importance to our mental health as we give importance to our physical health, which
physical
is
health.
equally important.
Yeah.
And there is this notion that the friends and the family is the best counselor,
Hmm.
but many times they can't see you as a third person. You
Right,
have certain relationship with them. There are some feelings involved. They can't be very clear with you about some things.
right, right,
There are some biases which play in
right.
there. So I think so it's much better to meet someone who is a third person, who is professional, who has learned about it. And it's okay to be not okay. It's not like every one of us know everything,
Right.
so it's okay. If I feel depressed, if I feel sad, it's okay. There is nothing like a big issue for which you should go to a counselor. Because
Hmm.
people feel ये इतना बड़ा नहीं है कि मुझे काउंसलर को जाके मिलना चाहिए.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there is nothing. It's a big or it's a small.
Hmm.
Whatever matters to you is most important.
What? Yeah. All right. So it should be as normal as you go to your doctor, right? You have cold
Yeah,
feet,
you go to
or
your
you go
doctor,
to
you
your,
go to your gym, you go to
it
it's
is
as
as
simple. You go to
simple
your
as
dietitian. Yeah.
yeah.
Why you need to have answers for
I know.
everything,
Yeah.
even your mental health.
Also, I feel many a times people look for that kind of a validation. So if the society is validating me to go to a mental health practitioner, if the society is accepting it,
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
will. But currently the society isn't, so maybe I need to be a little more hush
yeah.
about it.
But the good thing is there are a lot of people who are speaking about it. For example, how Deepika is having her own NGO, Deepika
Correct.
Padukone.
Right,
That
right.
that really make people aware of what exactly it is,
Yeah.
and they also start realizing, yeah, I need to go and meet a lot of people. And a lot of psychiatrists, psychologists are also going into a community and talking to them. So they
Right.
understand they are also human like how we are. And it's okay, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's not like that they are the best or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are also human, they also have a feeling, and there is no need to have a taboo as if
Yeah.
something is wrong with me, that's why I'm going.
Right. Yeah. All right. If you could tell the audience or to our viewers, how do they identify an authentic counselor? Because these days everybody is just talking about counseling, about mental health
Yeah,
practitioners.
that's the problem. That
How do we identify, yes, this person is an authentic counselor and I can go and talk to him?
it's difficult, if I have to tell you, because there is no registration, there is no any certification which you have to go and check that if you're certified this way, then
Yeah.
you are an authentic counselor. So it's difficult to find out. But whenever you go and meet someone, just ask them about their educational background.
Hmm.
Just check with them, have they only done a 1 year of course and then they are directly started working,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
if they have done a BA, they have done their masters or post graduation or
Right.
some extra education which they have taken in this field.
Right.
So otherwise it's very difficult to identify, but make sure and ask them a question about their education. What
Education.
is their educational background? It's not
Yeah.
only about if they have done only a 1 year course or a 6 months diploma, then I think so we have to be careful when we go.
Careful about meeting them. Yeah. So major thing is having a BA, that is a graduation degree in psychology, which is a must, and post that having a master's degree in psychology,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then the experience and the diploma that follows. But these two
yeah,
things are the
yeah.
most vital
Yeah,
when you go
yeah.
any.
Because as simple as that, when I do a BA and MA, I spend 5 years of my life
Right. Right.
learning this,
Yeah.
and it makes a difference when I learn certain subject for 5 years rather than someone just learning it for a 6 months or 7 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the depth of knowledge is different, which I got
Right.
with both of them.
All right. Parul, could you also tell us how to become an art-based therapist? What are the various courses that are available in Bombay or maybe outside Bombay? And if you could just give us some details about that.
The institution where I have done my art-based therapy is WCCL, that is World Center of Creative Learning.
Okay.
They don't run their own course right now, but they do have a lot of course facilitator who are
Hmm.
doing in different parts of the. They're doing in Mumbai. There are 4 to 5 courses running in the Mumbai. There is one in Pune. There is one in Ahmedabad. There is one in New Delhi. So
Okay.
if you go to the WCCL, that is the World Center of Creative Learning, you can find out more
World
details
Center of
over there.
Creative Learning, WCCL.
Yeah, World Center of Creative Learning. Okay, so I have written some. If you want, I just written some courses. I'll just go through them for you.
Sure.
There is someone called Shweta Chinsolkar who is there in Thane. Her center is called Bodhita. There
Okay.
is Nabhiraj Mehta who is doing in Ahmedabad. There
Okay.
is Bhargavi Dawar and Kavita Nair, which works in a Bapu Trust, which is in Pune. There is
Okay.
Sonia, who takes in New Delhi. Her center's name is Kathakar.
Okay.
I think so. I remember some of them. Then there is a Zeel Gotadkar, which is there in Mumbai. There is Neha Patel, that is Mind Institute, which is in Andheri. And there is Vanashri Khate, which is also there in Andheri.
Right.
So there are 3 to 4 courses running in Mumbai, one in Thane, one in Ahmedabad, one in Pune. So I think so there are a lot of them.
A lot of them. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Parul. It has
And
been great.
sorry, Archana.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There is also one more course. No. There is also one more course which is run by TISS, which is
Okay.
not arts-based therapies, but they do a very similar dance and movement therapy. So
Okay.
there will be, which is very similar to art-based therapy.
Okay.
So people can also inquire on TISS site about
Thank you so much, Parul. It has been a great session. I'm sure our viewers would have benefited a lot from your session. The main aim why we are doing this is to create a general awareness among people about psychology and the authenticity of the counselors. So this is the main reason as to why we are having these sessions.
it. It is very important, I feel. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much, Archana,
Parul.
for taking this
Yeah.
initiative. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And all the details that Parul mentioned about art-based therapy, the courses and everything, those details will be mentioned in the description box below. Also, the contact detail of Parul will be mentioned in the description box below. So if you all want, you all can directly reach out to her to understand more about art-based therapy, or if you all want one-on-one counseling with Parul, even that's more than welcome. Okay. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.